Hello everyone, Paul Heumiller at Dream Guitars, here with my trusty Jordan McConnell guitar. This is my #1 instrument that I just love so much. It's my SJ that Jordan made me some years ago. And I wanted to share with you today a little lesson on this new song that I've been doing for some of the demos. Most of the demos I write. I just make up sort of on the spot, inspired by the instruments. Sort of what I've been trying to do with the demos the past year or so is really listen to the guitar, just like I would if I was thinking about buying the guitar myself. And I try to get a sense of what each guitar sort of wants to do, what it wants to say. So sometimes I'll play faster blues things, sometimes very beautiful, emotive things. I'm just looking for at least one sort of characteristic of the guitar. So anyway, this one was inspired by a Gage Halland guitar that we had, just beautiful instrument. And I wrote this on the spot, and I've just been enjoying the piece, and several people have asked for the tab for it. I don't really do tabs as much, but I'd like to do videos because I think it's easier to just show you what to play. So it's a real simple song. It's only a couple of chords. It starts off with an E major 7 sort of chord. When I write, I'm a songwriter primarily. When I write, I don't really think about particular shapes or whatever. I just kind of go for sounds and grab things on the guitar. So I'll just sort of see some of my process. So an E major 7 chord, if you're not familiar, if you think about an E bar chord that you might play at the 7th fret, if you take the one root note and bring it back one step, that's how you make a major 7. You just flat a root note a half step. So that's a major 7, which sounds kind of a jazzy chord. The way I'm playing it though is I switch fingers just to play these two notes. So I'm playing the 3rd finger at the 8th fret and the pinky at the 9th on the G and D strings, and I'm in standard tuning. Then I'm putting the 1st finger on the E note on the 7th fret of the A. And then everything else I'm leaving open intentionally so that I get this sound. And I get this open B and E on top, which are still part of the chord, all right? So I'm not going to get too into the details, but just trust me, this is an E major 7 chord of sorts. And the ringing quality is what I wanted. And then I'm just taking off the 1st finger, making an open A string, and leaving everything else the same. So for a moment there, I've got an A chord that's a bit weird. It's got a 9th in it, it's got a B in it, and also has a D sharp in it, which is like a 4th, a sharp 4th. And then I'm resolving that D sharp to C sharp. So I'm going from the 3rd finger to the 1st finger while keeping the rest. So the A chord, and I'll go over this again, but the A chord is just, and then I hit this little 4th string one more time just for, I'm listening in my head for the melody, sort of what I want it to do. So just those 2 chords, which are the hardest part of the song, and it's again not very difficult. The E major 7, so very simple. Right hand, you can kind of get a real sense of it, and there's no rules. I'm just going sort of straight down. So I'm going down 4, then I'm just waiting and then playing with the treble strings. So just kind of having fun with those, all right? No rules. And then the second part of the song, I go a C sharp minor, which you don't even need the top string, so you might see my 1st finger sort of in the air. I don't care about the top string, so I don't bother barring. I personally don't like bar chords. I think they hurt and they don't sound very good. They're closing off the guitar. So whenever possible, I use open strings. Then we got the Sipes move. When I was writing this, I wanted something different for the next chord, and so I asked Greg, who's behind the camera here today, who's a great musician. I said, Greg, what can I do next that would sound different? He said, so he just sang the half step. So just take the bass up a half step. Get a nice little something interesting, whatever you want to call it for a moment. Then a real A. So let's just, I'm leaving it as a 9th by leaving the B string open. So it's an A like you would play an F-shape A there, or part of an A major chord if you think about that. But I'm just playing 3 strings. So I can have the open 5th string and the open top string. And I'm leaving the 2nd string open as well. So it makes it a 9th. And then I take that and slide it up 2, and then put the B note on the bass, and I get a B chord with an E up top. So just extra colors. And then sometimes when I want more finality, going like a real 5 chord, I just close that off to an actual B. And then that brings brings me back home. 5 chord back to 1. Another thing I do with this piece in some of the demos is I'll just carry a simple bass note or something so I can solo a little bit. In the demos I do it to just show that the guitar is lyrical and how it sounds with single notes. But as a songwriter I might also do something like that for live performance, of course, just to make the song more interesting. So if you want to try that, you can play anything you want in the key of E. I'm jumping up here to like a C sharp minor, like a relative to the 6th. A major. And so on. So you can just sort of have fun between E and A. You got nice bass strings to just let ring while you solo in any way you see fit. So have fun and enjoy it, make it your own, and hopefully I'll write some lyrics and share that with you soon. Paul Heumiller here at Dream Guitars.